You want the bright lights and the stereo. You're in the fast lane, but you don't even know. And this is the end. You want your name on the Hollywood sign. You want diamonds on your fingers and stars in your eyes. Would you feel better if you slept this way? But you can fence me down, break me apart into your dreams. But all this broken glamour isn't always as it seems. But you can fence me down, break me apart into your dreams. But all this broken glamour isn't always as it seems.
Hey guys, this is Rushmuch. So last week I went a little out of order and did some hand analysis, so I'll be doing a little bit more of an intro and talk about what poker means to me today. So poker to me is about self-improvement in inches. In 2012 I was busking New York City subways and couch hopping, and then I cashiered from 6 p.m. to 4 a.m. 3 days a week, started teaching 3rd, 5th, 7th, 8th graders, and then moved over to teaching the SATs in 2013, and then swallowed my own medicine and started studying again at a programming boot camp to become a software engineer. So from 2012 to 2015 I moved like 6 times and went from singing in subway stations to being a senior software engineer. And throughout that time, poker was very recreational for me. But last year I finally arrived in a lot of ways. I guess life kind of settled in. The hectic craze from the years before started to fade away, and there was a lot of peace. Most of that came from surrounding myself around the right people, the right influences, but also actively studying about psychology and learning about why I feel and think the way that I do. And poker sort of took off from there. To me, it's like a little microcosm of life. There are good days and bad days, and if you're constantly expecting every day to be a good day, you're gonna be really disappointed and it's gonna make the bad days worse. And just because you study or work hard doesn't mean that you just magically have more good days or fewer bad days, or more good hands or fewer bad hands. But on the other hand, that work and that studying does lead to better good days and, more importantly, better bad days. I learned that if you're willing to take enough breaks and allow opportunities to reset and to look back and analyze, it becomes easier and easier to improve over time. You make plans and you're ready the next time something similar happens. So just for an example, I might get coolered by a sticky, loose, aggressive player in a high equity spot, but I won't let that mean bigger buy-ins in other tournaments or a string of reckless plays immediately after, just because, you know, I've been there before and I have plans now to help me manage that tilt. And all of that, whether it's poker or not, is really about learning about myself and learning about what ultimately leads to more success and more happiness in the long run. It could be about relationships too. Maybe you fight with your significant other and always end up standing up and yelling. One thing that you might decide to do is, okay, next time I'm just going to sit down first and I'm going to take a sip of water every time before I speak. Little breaks and moments to kind of reset are really important, and they help in and out of poker to improve in the long run. So for any poker players planning on starting out or looking to improve themselves, I'll share this one thing. Compare yourself to yourself the last time something similar happened. If you're just working on that with poker or really anything in life, you'll be on your way to success. Just making those improvements by inches. So enough lecturing. This week I wanted to analyze a few hands by Parker Tonka Talbot. So for those of you that don't know him, he is one of the most consistent and greatest online tournament no-limit hold'em players of all time. So in this hand, Tonka is in the big blind with Jack Queen off. Blinds are 2,000 and 4,000, and it folds to Wizzo on the button, who opens for 2.2x. Flop comes 10-9-5 rainbow, and they both check here. Wizzo's check means way more than Tonka's does. It's much more polarizing with more hand combinations that miss than hit. We see a 7 on the turn, and Tonka pots it. So this took me a while to understand, but it serves a lot of purposes. Tonka is betting for some equity at this point, while also trying to get a fold. He's polarizing his own range here, repping a lot of strength and taking over the betting lead on a very connected turn. Tonka's move works because he'd do this same aggressive line with made hands too. He's playing against a player he's played a lot, and Wizzo is actually a very good player. Wizzo calls and we get to a river, an offsuit ace, and Tonka overbets to 1.5x. So this was really cool and really confusing. So let's talk about a few other really important factors in this hand. The ace should hit Wizzo's range a lot better than Tonka's, but Tonka's bet makes it look like he is trying to get paid off by that ace. Tonka polarizes himself to a straight or maybe a set, which he has the best blockers to rep from the big blind. But what makes this move truly great is also the fact that the bubble just popped. These players are like 9th of 39 and probably 11th of 39, and if you look around the table, a lot of players are still at the 10 to 15 big blind stacks. So probably of these 39, 20 of them are at the 10 to 15 blind stacks. So committing half of his stack on a call makes it almost like a ICM punt, considering how many easier chips there are to be had. So Tonka really puts maximum pressure here and ends up taking it down. There are many one pair holdings and pocket pairs that Wizzo is just forced to fold, and Tonka plays this masterfully. And I'd like to add that this move only works because Tonka would actually do this exact line with his good hands too. So I was thinking about whether or not I could incorporate this exact move into my game when I first saw this video, and I realized I couldn't because my current rep and lines don't really include this 1.5 overbet. I have since been like adding a few more 1.2x since then, but yeah, it's so amazing to learn from much better players. You know, and trying to pick up some moves from them. So alright guys, that's it for vlog number 2. Cheers!
Stick down just like me. If you got curves like me, you'll be getting paid to